Hello, back again. I left the last video talking about something and it felt like something more wanted to come through, so we're gonna see what comes through here. We talked about in the last video how about the Indra's net, and how like every jewel is placed perfectly in front of the other jewel and it's supposed to brilliantly shine each other's light, and we create this cosmic brilliance through it. um, but because of the wheel we're not able to, and the wheel is that of the victimization according to Gene Keys, which is the shadow, which we are actually healing right now in all of our relationships. So no matter wherever you are in your spiritual journey, wherever, if you're watching me for the first time or the 100th time, you are going through this. You're healing your connections right now, because that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. Mirroring. Because you're mirroring. Because we're here to mirror each other. We're here to mirror each other's cosmic brilliance and create this beautiful, shiny jewel net. Okay, that's why my membership is called Jewel. Because, but then you do that only through transcending the shadow of the victimization that I've been talking about in the last few videos. And if you haven't been watching, just watch the 2-3 videos before this. I talked about it in the forgiveness video as well. And I think right now, I think that's the theme which is just coming through me. But I feel like whenever I experience something as a manifesting generator, I feel like I do kind of like am experiencing the collective. I used to always think that I'm different, I'm an outsider. But I have realized that no, I'm actually experiencing what the collective is. So I feel like there is a collective mutation happening, um, and we're really experiencing it in our relationships right now very deeply. So what's happening is that we have this deep desire to be mirrored, and we're always mirroring each other. That's why we trigger each other, you know. um, Triggering happens because somebody, what is triggering basically, I've had a video on that as well, but just to put it up in one line, triggering is basically you have a wound and somebody accidentally spills salt on it. Ouch, it burns and you're like, what the heck is wrong with you? And you feel like it's their fault that they spilled the salt, but the wound was actually already there and they reminded you that there was a wound and hey, it's still burning, why don't you do something about it? But we are like, I hate you, you put salt on my wounds. And like, yeah, but you have a wound, can you heal that? It looks really bad. And we have like, most of us, what we do, including me, what I've always done mostly, uh, is to be really mad at the person spilling the salt. Like, how dare you? You're hurting me. Why are you hurting me? Yeah? That's like the classic. The classic. I actually saw a reel today, also on my Explore page. And it's a fun thing I do these days when I want to like, I know there's some shadow coming. I know there's some shadow work calling, but I can't like put my finger on it because my mind is really good at distracting me. I open up my Explore page on Instagram and I know that whatever I'm gonna see is exactly what is. And if something is gonna trigger me, that there's that. It's such a cool way of feel. But coming back to it, yeah, so I saw this reel, and this it was a dialogue, I don't know if it's from a movie or what, and that woman was like, you're hurting me. It's a classic relationship uh, dialogue that we often use when we are triggered, including me. Like, all of this is including me, okay? I'm speaking purely out of experiences. This is direct, like, this is no book stuff. Like, I like books, but not for this purpose. If you have any fiction advices, please drop it below. I'm really looking for one. Coming back to it, sorry. Um, Yeah, we tend to really say be mad at the person who accidentally spilled the salt on our wounds. They didn't know there's a wound. Okay, it's not like they purposely came and tished this. You may or may not experience that somehow. I'm excluding having some exceptions, maybe like take it as it resonates. But 90% of the times, 99% of the times, actually, people don't do that. Okay, they don't even know there's a wound there. And they happen to, ouch, accidentally spill the salt when they were actually probably getting it to put it in their food. Like it's not personal, but we're like, oh my god, ouch, it's hurting me. You are hurting me. And then we go mad and we're like, and then they say some mean stuff to you to get back at it. Again, because you feel hurt, you suddenly take on the role of the victim and you want to attack back, again, very unconsciously. And then, we just kind of like, we start mirroring the wounds then, and we start mirroring the triggers, and then it's just like a bad thing, and we go our ways. And we feel like the problem was the triggering. And in the therapeutic world, it's often like being labeled as toxic. It's often labeled as, oh, they trigger me a lot. And of course, everybody's allowed to take space, have safer boundaries, see what you need to do, but know that it's not healing the problem, right? You hiding away from the triggers, it's great boundary practice. Do some nervous system healing work, but come back at it. Like, that's not healing the wounds. Like, I have really retreated back in the past few years and from a lot of my connections because I was feeling super triggered. But then during that time, I had been doing a lot of nervous system work. And of course, that doesn't mean that just because I cut off from few people, my parents had reflected those wounds, or my sister would. It would just, there's only so much you can, protect yourself unless you're going to be completely alone. And that is also something that humans are not wired to do. So how do we actually thrive in this community, in these relationships, when we are so scared to be hurt? And again, nobody's hurting anybody purposely. It's just accidentally spilling the salt on the wounds. That's what mirroring happens. That's what mirroring does. And the thing is that unless we take responsibility for our own healing, it's just going to be chaos after chaos after chaos, unless, as I said, you're going to just retreat. And how much are you going to like really protect yourself? Eventually, like, at least for me, I was like, I'm ready actually. Yes, it's going to hurt me. Yes, it can trigger me. But you know what? It's so much better than isolating myself. And that does come from taking responsibility for my own healing. That does come from taking accountability for what the triggers are showing me. Okay, show me. Now I'm like, show me where the wounds are. Like, if something is being triggered and something is like blown up, look at it. What's the worst that could happen? If you need help, find support. If you need a mentor, a guide, find support. If you need some nervous system healing, some deep breaths, meditation, whatever you need to go through it. But I just feel like we have been living in a very protective mechanism and defending ourselves, and that's just not helping. That's not solving the bigger problem. That's not solving. We are like going farther and farther away from our mirrors, from people who actually have the potential to reflect a cosmic brilliance, who were here to actually, who are literally our perfect mirrors, like placed right across us. Perfect mirrors. And we have been just like so scared of this mirroring what they might show us, any of our shadows, any of our wounds. And we don't want to, we are not ready. Some of us are not ready. Some of us, I don't want to. Some of us are scared of facing those shadows that we are steering away from that cosmic brilliance, which has the potential to light up this world so brilliantly. And okay, spend some time in the hideout, but I feel I just want to like say it out loud here. It's time to come out of the shell, and it's time to take responsibility. It's time to not be afraid of what might get triggered, what might get mirrored. When you start embracing your shadows, when you start, I hate to say this, loving yourself, um, cliche but true, and when you just stop taking this mirroring seriously, there is an opportunity for growth, there is an opportunity for healing, there's an opportunity for our brilliance to shine, for our purpose to shine. Because when I said it in the last video, uh, anything that you've been reflected is a reflection of you, but they are here to also be kind of like God in flesh. Does this make sense? Because they, when you stop being scared by that mirroring and you open yourself to healing, they also have the capacity, and you have the capacity to channel unconditional love to each other. And this applies to all relationships: twin flames, karmic, soulmate, family, client, business, workspace, whatever. It applies to everybody. But maybe specifically to say, like, the people who are closest to you, because they kind of like mirror the most, yes? Yeah. The more accurately the jewel is placed, the more accurate the mirroring is gonna be, and the more it's gonna probably hurt if you don't take, if you don't uh, take responsibility of healing. I mean, let's just say I don't have anything better than that. Rather than being in this victimization space, like the moment you take responsibility, the wheel gets lifted, and you start seeing this mirroring in a beautiful light. You start seeing the potential of this mirroring, and B, you start healing. As I said, when you're no more scared of this mirroring, this is a channel of love and healing as well, because your greatest healing is also gonna happen here. Yes. Like, it's like you are looking for something, you're looking for the light at the end of the tunnel, but this is the light which will get you out of the tunnel. Does that make sense? I had one of these experiences recently, and I was like, damn, I was thinking that what I'm looking for is the light at the end of the tunnel, but actually I need light while I'm in the tunnel to get me out. And this is what this mirroring in my life, how it came across, is doing. So how can you stop taking your mirrors or the mirroring personally, and start using it to amplify your energy, to expand your consciousness, to allow love and healing and quantum healing, can I say, happen? Because it's placed exactly, Indra's net, the jewel is placed exactly, accurately, right in front of you to reflect everything. So imagine when you kind of like work on those shadows and the dark places which you're so scared to face. Like, okay, show me what's the worst. Yeah, this is what it is. And once that's done, there's also so much of brilliance that's reflected back, so much of love that's reflected back, so much of healing that's reflected back, so much of like your gifts are being reflected back. It's also the key to your purpose, the key to abundance, everything that you felt like it's at the end of the tunnel, and you've been hiding away from the mirroring because you were scared. It's actually right here. And when we stop running away, the whole tunnel is lit up actually. The light is already there. So really see your life wherever you are. Who is mirroring you? Who is reflecting what? And instead of, it's so easy and convenient to say, that's you, that's not me. And I'm not asking you to, like, Okay, you know what? This is what it is. I thought I'll just put it well and I'll just say, oh, it's. I don't want to add any apology or any disclaimer or any exceptions. Take what it resonates. What doesn't, doesn't. Okay? If this resonates, if these words are speaking to you, you would receive them. But this is the only way actually to get out of that. Like, stop being a victim and just take responsibility. And the moment you take responsibility, the wheel lifts up. And not just this mirroring connection improves, which is like just a bonus, a cherry on the cake, but so much more happens. As I said, the whole tunnel lights up. Yes, so that's what I have for you today. It just came through. It wanted to come through me, through this space. So I am so glad you're here listening. And I'll see you soon with a next download, upload. Take care.